Good morning students. I, Professor Manish Chauhan, welcome you on the behalf of Shiksha Mandal's GS College of Commerce, Wardha. In yesterday's class, we have seen the syllabus of English and Business Communication, English Language and Business Communication. Today, we would be discussing the Unit 3 of that syllabus, that is Communication. Okay. So, there is a two portion we will study in this particular semester one, that is English language, that is a separate one. In that it carries two units, that is unit 1 and unit 2. Short stories we have, and in unit 2 we have prose section, while in business communication we have unit 3 communication aspect, and then business correspondence, and then we have separate unit for English language as well. So today we would be discussing communication. As you all know that communication is essential aspect of our life. And what does it mean? Communication is just passing information from one person to another person. And what will be the objective of communication? Communication is essential to carry out the daily activities for any organization. If they want to fulfill the objective of particular organization, communication is essential aspect. Even as a student, if you want to achieve anything, you need to give more focus on this particular aspect, that is communication. Because after getting the degrees, when you will go to get a job, what particular aspect will be judged? This only, the communication. Even if you have PhD, even if you have master degree, that is not essential criteria, because people will see the communication skill. They will see burn the certificates. Okay, certificates has different value, while what you convey through your communication skill is something very essential. Okay, so today we would be discussing communication. So communication, as you all know, that communication is just a pass on information, okay, from one person to another person. Or it can be a group communication as well. That we will see in a detailed lecture, that is types of communication. Today our first topic is communication. So communication, it is an act of conveying intended information and understanding from one person to another is called as communication. Okay, so communication is the word which has been derived from the word communis. Okay, so communis means to share the information. Okay, for example, if you have a particular idea or if you have a particular thought, what you want to, for example, suppose right now I am conducting a lecture. Okay, so that is also a communication. This is a one-way communication. Right now I have a syllabus. Okay, that is a communication, and I will explain you, and then at the time of examination you will be examined through and then if you have understood this particular topic, you will give a proper response, then it can be considered as a successful communication. So any organization needs to focus on this aspect to carry out the objective, to fulfill the objective. So in communication process, we'll first see the communication process. So this is a definition of communication. Communication, you can again add any definition, that is a pass on information, conveying information from one person to another, or conveying information through different channels. Okay, the channels could be the that is oral communication. So communication basically means it can be a non-verbal and verbal as well. Verbal communication includes the communication takes place through language basically, and non-verbal, that through gesture as well you can communicate. For example, if I say hi, okay, and my expression would be the different, so that can carry a different type of communication. Okay, so when you communicate with other, it is not only essential that your language should be clear, but your body language, the way you communicate with others, it carries weightage. Okay, it can, and you can also give a right kind of information, like a right kind of impression to others. Okay, so this is, we will see that the process of communication. That is the communication process. Okay, for example, I have a particular thought, and then that thought, no, I need to convey to you. So for example, I will be the sender here. Okay, and then for example, this is an English medium class. So in English medium class, my second duty is that I need to talk to you in English. Okay, so I will encode my particular thought in particular language, that is known as encoding. Okay, so first I have idea or thought, then I will encode that thought in a particular language, that is encoding, and then after encoding, for example, that thought that has been prepared, okay, and that will consider as the message. Okay, so that message, for example, right now due to lockdown we are not one-to-one. Otherwise in offline classes we would be like discussing in the class, and there one need not to include this platform, that is we are using technology, we are using YouTube, that is also a channel of communication. Okay, so I am right now communicating with you, but which channel? That is YouTube, so that can considered as a channel. Okay, because you are not here. Okay, for example, if you want to communicate with your relatives, so what would you use? You would basically go with telephone conversation, or you, for example, if you want to apply for the job, but that organization is not here in Wardha, so basically what would you do? You would email to that organization, or you would send any letter to that organization. Okay, so that can be considered as a different channels of communication, and then that message is carried forward to receiver. Okay, so receiver will receive it, and as per his competency, his background, he will interpret it. So interpretation can be considered as decoding. Okay, so after getting the message, the receiver will decode it, and then after decoding, for example, if the message is there that right now I am conducting the class, okay, and it is a communication class, so my communication will be effective when the receiver, who are the receiver? Right now the students are receiver, and if they will understand it, interpret it in an accurate way, then they will respond it. Okay, so that respond is known as feedback, and after that, if my communication is effective, then there can be a good response. And if even if we are conducting, even if you will get the daily lectures, okay, some of you will perform good in the examination, while some of you won't perform good. And what is that will show that either the teacher is not good, his communication, or for example, some of you do not possess that much competency level. Okay, so on that basis, so we need to focus that the communication should be emphasized, and you should focus on this skill particularly. Okay, so if the after that receiver decodes it, and then you will get the response to the sender. So this is the communication process. So when this process will be done, we say that the successful communication has been done. Okay, so the success of communication, it depends on the sender. Okay, the sender encoding. For example, if the sender is in village, okay, and they are not aware with the English language, and if he goes there and if he speaks in English language, what kind of response he will get? He won't get any kind of response. Then the message won't go, the channel, even if the one-to-one communication is there, they won't get any proper response. so you won't get the proper feedback as such. So as per as the sender is concerned, it is the responsibility of sender to choose a proper language at the proper time, then only he can. And again, even if the gestures are there, gesture should be right, because again this in process of communication one more essential aspect is there, that is noise. Noise is considered as barriers in communication. So for example, if you say that the communication it hasn't taken place very well, so what could be the reason? The reason could be the barriers, that is noise. For example, if I conveyed a message to you but that hasn't gone in very appropriate way, then it can be considered as noise. So there are different types of noise. It can be a first one is that physical noise. Physical means, for example, right now the class is going on, but outside too much noise is there. That can be considered as physical noise. Okay. And then physiological. Second one is physiological. Physiological is related with your, for example, body kinesthetic. For example, even if I am teaching right now and some of you are not able to get it just because you are not feeling well, any illness is there, some of you must have gone for different medications, okay, or X person is conveying message but the B person is having health issues, different kind of health issues, that can be considered as physiological. For example, if you go to meet to your HOD, okay, and the HOD is having the problem of ear, so you need to be little loud, okay, otherwise you cannot convey your information as such, okay. And then cultural barriers. Sometimes cultural barriers is very essential. For example, you want to communicate with the UK people, okay, or you want to communicate with Australian people, you need to understand culture of that particular area, otherwise you cannot communicate. In South Indian we say generally leaf is laid, okay, and if you are not aware of that particular culture, what you see that leaf is laid is that leaf is there, okay, but leaf is laid, that has a different connotation altogether. Leaf is laid is carried a different meaning, because leaf is laid is something that food is served, okay, and that you should go and you should have the lunch. So leaf is laid carry another meaning altogether there. Then the language barrier. In cultural barrier, again we say in Marathwada, if you have gone there, if we say stand up, so in Marathi they generally use ubhata, okay. So generally if you are not aware with that culture, you will see that what kind of language you are using, okay. Ubhata means will I slap you, will I do something to you. So this is that something that sometimes if you are not aware with that culture, you can misinterpret the person completely. So this can be considered as cultural communication. And then fourth one is language, that we can say semantic barriers as well. For example, if you are not good in English, you cannot communicate with the people, those who are expert in English. The way your pronunciation, for example, if it is different, the meaning will go in a wrong way, okay. So the language barrier is there. For example, if your mother tongue is Marathi, and if you are not good in Hindi, you can face such type of difficulties. Then technological barriers. Nowadays we are conducting this online session, and everybody is giving their best, but some technological barriers are there. If the students do not have that facility at their places, they may lag behind in the study. So that is a technological barrier. Psychological barrier, for example, even if we are giving our best, and if you are not attentive in the class, or if you are thinking about some other issues, personal issues, that can be considered as a psychological barrier. If you are facing any difficulties, okay, financial issues can be there, okay, so this can be considered as psychological barrier. So these are the aspect of this. Is like we today in the class we have studied that the communication, what does it means, and what is the process of communication, and if the communication, in case it fails, what can be the reason due to that the communication can be hindered. Okay, so these are the this is the first lecture of unit 3. After this we'll see the types of communication. Okay, so good. Okay, thank you friends. Stay home, stay safe.